Welcome back to another exciting episode of NZ Tech Teacher. Today we're going to look at some more advanced features of Illustrator, importing images, turning them into vector files, and some other tools. So a good rule of thumb when you're looking for images is to look for images that have high contrast and black and white. So in a Google image search, if you look at your image file, go to settings and look at advanced search and change colors in this image to black and white, and you can also change the image size if you want something with better quality to a larger file, as in larger than 1 megabyte or 2 megabytes. In this case, I'm not going to do that. The other thing you need to think about is usage rights. You can't just take any logo and print it off and sell it. That's copyrighted. So if you want to avoid legal action, make sure that you have selected Creative Commons licenses. So those are licenses that people around the world have given people the free right to use with no conditions. If you're selecting commercial and other licenses and you're using someone's logo, you may need to pay them if you're selling it. So to avoid that, just select the CCL license, and then you just hit advanced search, and it's going to find black and white images that you can freely use. Looking at that, I've got a bit of a selection. I'm going to pick this one here. I think that's quite a cool one, and I'm going to save that image to my desktop. And then I'm going to open Illustrator back up and import that image. So to get something into Illustrator, you can do it in a couple of ways. You can go File, Place, and find that file, or you can shrink your window down and just drag and drop it into your window, like so. So to do that, you select your file, select your picture, and go up to Object, Image Trace, and click on Make. And down on the side here, you'll have a image trace little panel. Select this, open the image trace panel. This will give us a little bit more detail. We're going to change the preset to black and white logo. Unclick preview, and we want to change, if you move the threshold up and down, it gives you more detail the higher up you go, and then the less, if you go below 100, it gives you less detail. If you click on preview, you get slightly less detail. So I think 150 is a good medium amount to pick for this particular image, but you'll just have to experiment with that to get the desired effect. And now if you click down here where it says ignore white, it will only trace the black areas of the images, and that's what we want. And then you just click on trace here, and that's traced the image for us, and then click on expand. And now if we click on our image, to see if it works, we should be able to change the fill to any color, like so, and you can see that it's worked. So it's only traced those black areas. That's what we want. For this to work in the laser cutter, we'll change that to fill black, and we need to shrink this image so that it fits on one of these panels here. So I'm going to shrink it right down and move it over to here, and you can see there's my image there. To get a good amount of detail, I might just make that a little bit bigger, like so. And then you save remember that you save your Illustrator file as an Illustrator 10 file, and that means you can open it directly in LaserWorks. Some other features that you might like with Illustrator is that if you hold down on the rectangle palette and you press down on that little arrow there, you can bring out all these additional shapes that you can draw. So you have a rounded rectangle tool, which is quite handy. You've got an ellipse tool. If you hold down shift, you can make that into a circle. If you hold down shift and alt at the same time, it draws from the cursor center point. You can also make a polygon tool. This is quite handy if you're trying to draw geometric shapes. You can also, if you just click once with that tool selected, you can give it as many sides as you want. So you can make a 13-sided polygon if you want. Obviously a triangle will just be a 3-sided polygon. You've also got a star tool and many other options. If you want this rounded rectangle tool to have specific corner radiuses, you can actually enter in whatever you want. Very handy to have all that available. The other one to look at is the pen tool, but that's probably just for another time.